Intro for Lesson 7, Ongoing Series. How to Visualize Theory on the Instrument. Hello everyone, Robertinho here. Welcome back to the channel. In our previous lesson, we made great progress. We connected harmonic theory with real-world application on the guitar, explored how the chorus of a song is structured, and started approaching soloing by combining scale shapes with chord tones. Now, in Lesson 7, we're going to take these concepts further. Here's what we'll cover today. Expand our understanding of chord progressions beyond the chorus, looking at how entire songs flow harmonically. Deepen our work with the scale number system, applying it across different keys and fretboard regions. Explore advanced target note strategies to help you craft melodic solos that truly connect with the underlying harmony. Continue developing fretboard visualization, this time learning to see the entire neck as a unified system. We'll color-code the diatonic chords by harmonic function, tonic, subdominant, and dominant, making it easier to recognize these functions at a glance. But before we dive in, I want to take a moment to set the right mindset for this lesson. In this lesson, you will learn how to solo within a scale pattern. You'll understand how the scale degree numbers function across the entire fretboard and how to recognize triad chords, both by their shape and by their position in the scale. And you'll clearly see them highlighted by their harmonic function through our color system. However, remember this. All of these are tools, patterns designed to help you understand music better. But playing music, creating it, expressing it, goes beyond patterns. No matter how structured or clear a method is, progress only comes with practice. You need to dedicate time and effort to internalize these tools and transform them into musical expression. And above all, remember this. Life is not just about hard work. It's about balance. Yes, success requires effort, but learning must also be joyful and inspiring. If it's not fun, if it doesn't move you emotionally, it won't stick. Music is about inspiration, motivation, and fulfillment. And we have a short time in life to enjoy these experiences. So make your practice meaningful and enjoyable. Let me make a few key points before we start. The graphics and diagrams I show you are tools to help you visualize theory. They guide your ears, but they don't replace musicality. Patterns alone don't make music beautiful. It's how you apply them that creates something expressive. Don't waste your time running scale patterns up and down without musical context. Start applying these concepts to the music you love. Play simple triads, then combine them gradually as your skills grow. Let's dive into the lesson so I can show you exactly how these ideas work. And for those of you who play other instruments besides guitar or acoustic guitar, leave a comment below. Tell me what you play and what style of music you love. I'll be happy to help you adapt these lessons to your instrument. Let's get started. For those who have been accompanying this series, these are the essential insights that will bring clarity and coherence to your music theory studies. Fretboard visualization and functional harmony, mastering the colored chart. Let's take a moment to talk about this colored graphic you see here. The visual training fretboard chart is one of the key strategic tools I've used throughout my guitar learning journey to master the fretboard and scale visualization. In this lesson, I'll explain why this approach is so effective and, most importantly, how you can apply it in your own practice. This method plays a powerful role in illuminating your path across the fretboard. It allows you to clearly see and understand the key concepts we've been discussing throughout this series. Concepts such as functional harmony and scale degrees. When combined and memorized, these two elements help you better understand how musical functions work on the guitar fretboard. Color coding functional harmony. You'll also learn how these color associations can help you quickly locate a particular degree within the major or minor scale. For example, the root, tonic, is highlighted in red. In the context of the E major scale, the root note, E, is shown in red. But here's the key point. The colors here were my choice. You can visualize your own chosen colors. Here I am using these colors, and red the root, tonic, will always represent the tonic from this graphic, no matter which key you're working in if you use this approach. The same color scheme applies to all the diatonic degrees across any major scale or minor scale, making this graphic useful far beyond just E major. Once you internalize these color associations, you'll hold a mental map of the entire fretboard. This visual approach makes navigating scales in any key more intuitive and efficient. Beyond the colors, building the roadmap. You'll also notice that beneath the colored fretboard, I present a more simplified roadmap of the E major scale, without any colors, note names, or scale degrees. This stripped-down version serves another important purpose. It helps you develop the ability to visualize the relationships between scales, intervals, chords, and arpeggios in their pure form, without depending on external markers. This deeper visualization will strengthen your fretboard fluency and theoretical understanding. The role of strategy in theory and style. Many accomplished guitarists openly acknowledge the importance of music theory. However, they also emphasize the personal responsibility of every musician to create their own strategic approach to learning, internalizing, and ultimately expressing theory through their personal style. That's exactly what I aim to share with you in this series, a methodical approach inspired by my own learning journey and musical experiences over the years. I want to give you ideas, tools, and perspectives that you can adapt and make your own. A comprehensive lesson ahead. This is a very dense and comprehensive lesson, the one where everything we've covered so far will finally connect. From this point forward, I am confident that you will be able to listen to any song and begin identifying its structure, understanding the role of each section and the harmonic functions involved. Because of the depth of this lesson, it's important that you approach it step by step. Take each topic individually, work on it at your own pace, and gradually build your mastery over time. Practical application, learning from the masters. My goal with this series is simple, to help you elevate your musicianship to a new level, and to do so in a relatively short amount of time. As you've seen, this series moves quickly from topic to topic, adapting strategies along the way. We began with the circle of fifths, and now, we are entering a whole new level of harmonic and fretboard understanding. Let's move forward and begin connecting all these ideas on the instrument. Mastering the 3-note per string approach. Let's now explore the 3-note per string approach, a highly efficient method for organizing scales across the guitar fretboard. As the name suggests, this approach assigns 3 notes to each string, allowing for smooth and consistent patterns across all 6 strings. Since the major scale consists of 7 notes, this method creates 7 distinct scale patterns, each one starting from a different degree of the scale. Stage 1. Learning the basic fingering patterns. So, what's the secret to learning these patterns efficiently? It all begins with Stage 1, where your focus is on learning the 3-note fingering patterns for a single string. The major scale is structured so that no group of 3 neighboring notes exceeds the span of 2 whole steps, or a maximum of 4 frets horizontally. When broken down, you'll find that there are only 3 basic fingering patterns to memorize: whole step plus whole step plus half step plus whole step. Mastering these basic intervals is essential before moving on. E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, B, A, B, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, B, A, B, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, B, A, B, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, B, A, B, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, B, A, B, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, G sharp, A, B, A, B, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. The vertical scale sequence. I want to introduce the concept of the pattern cycle. Each number represents a degree of the major scale. The cycle follows this sequence. 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5. 1, 4, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. If you're familiar with intervals, you'll recognize this as a sequence of ascending perfect fourths. This becomes critically important when you begin to link scale patterns across neighboring strings. Remember this important fretboard rule. As you shift from one string to the next, there's one important exception. Between strings 3 and 2, because of the guitar's major third tuning, all notes on string 2 must be raised one fret higher than on the other string pairs, building the 6-note pattern. In this next lesson, we'll take an important step toward understanding the functional role of intervals within scale patterns on the guitar. This approach will help deepen your understanding of how harmony and melody connect visually on the fretboard. The framework, vertical and horizontal visualization. We'll be working with two key visual frameworks. The scale degrees in Roman numerals, visualized horizontally across the fretboard. The vertical scale pattern sequence, following this order across the strings. 1 to 4, 7 to 3, 6 to 2, 5 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visualizing chord tones and intervals. By visualizing the chord tone colors on the fretboard, you'll learn how to form both chords and intervals. From this visualization, we'll transport these tones into the scale patterns, integrating the chord tones to each of the vertical sequence numbers as intervals. For this first practice, we begin with the E major scale, in thirds. Step 2. Recognizing their harmonic role. After we visualized and located these intervals, we'll begin to apply them in practice. We'll create chord progressions where these intervals are harmonized, allowing you to hear them in context and experience how they function melodically within a key. Step 3. How to play them on the guitar. You'll practice these intervals in two complementary ways. Melodically inside the scale patterns, play one note at a time, as you would during soloing or melodic phrasing. Harmonically on the fretboard, play two notes together as an interval, creating simple chord shapes. Step 4. Ear training through visualization and application. To develop your ear, we won't be using tablature notation in this lesson. Instead, you'll focus on visualizing the colored chord tones on the guitar fretboard whenever you get confused. Over time, these colors will stick in your head, signaling each note on the guitar fretboard. This will help your ear training and your fretboard navigation. Applying this on your instrument. I'll demonstrate the procedure on the guitar fretboard, showing the patterns and intervals below the chart. However, you are encouraged to adapt these concepts freely on your instrument. As your ears guide you, explore these intervals in other positions and forms. It's not a big deal if you adjust them. In fact, That's part of the process. Once you begin to feel your fingers moving comfortably between scale tones and chord tones, without unintentionally landing on inharmonic notes, you'll know that your understanding is growing and your playing is becoming more musical. Let's see how easy they can be visualized on the colored fretboard chart. Exploring thirds within scale patterns. In this section, we'll focus on major thirds. Finding the thirds intervals from within the scale position 1 all across the fretboard and play the two notes together. Perfect fifth. Before we conclude this lesson, let's take one final step without overwhelming the material we've covered so far, giving you time to internalize these concepts. Up to this point, we've worked with two intervals, a major third from the tonic E to G sharp, and a perfect fifth from E to B. Now, let's construct a simple chord progression using these intervals: root, 1, third, and fifth. Let's pick one of each intervals from a particular E root position and listen to how they combine harmonically. All right, as you can see, it's not necessary to use the entire scale or every chord to make your practice sound good. Now, let's clarify an important point. For many of you who are beginners, the primary focus should not be on spending hours trying to compose a full musical piece like the one I improvised in this demonstration. What truly matters at this stage is understanding what you can achieve by dedicating time to practicing this material. The colored fretboard diagrams will definitely assist you in navigating the entire fretboard without requiring endless hours memorizing individual notes. As I've mentioned before, the most effective way to visualize the notes is by associating them with the colors in the graphic. For example, when you see the color red, think of the root note, the tonic of the scale. In this case, that root is E. There is no need to rush to learn or memorize everything at once. Take it step by step. As I demonstrated at the end of this segment, try playing small sections on your instrument. First, think of the color, and then identify the note that corresponds to that color. Start by playing the major thirds on the fretboard. Then, play each note within the scale pattern. After that, add the perfect fifths, as I demonstrated. Right there, you'll have a group of 4 notes that you can experiment with to create your own sounds. I also recommend downloading an E major backing track from YouTube to practice applying these intervals in a musical context. Explore this material as much as you can. Trust your ears. They will guide you and help you distinguish between what sounds good and what doesn't. I hope this lesson has been helpful, and we'll continue developing these concepts in the next session. Take care, and see you in the next lesson. Thank you for being here till the end of this video, and I will see you soon. I can accomplish the following lesson. In order for me to do all this work, I ask you for your support. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share with your friends, even if they're not into playing guitar. Thank you very much. See you soon.